The Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater. Providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays.
Coming up, Special Olympic fundraisers make a splash in downtown Vermilion.
And the Vermilion High School hosts show choirs from across the state.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
This is your student-run Coyote News. I'm Marissa Brunkhorst.
And I'm Landon DeBoer. Last weekend's Polar Plunge had many Vermilion locals braving frigid waters for a good cause. Coyote News' Sam Coles dove into the event.
Over 60 people volunteered to take part in the event, which took place at the Old Lumber Company in Vermilion. The goal of the event is to raise money for the Special Olympics of South Dakota. The mission of this organization is to allow children and adults with intellectual disabilities to experience the joy of sports with other like individuals. For many participants, this was not their first year. However, newcomers like Todd Drummond were in for a surprise for their first plunge.
The water is way colder than I thought. When he said 53 degrees, I thought it was just going to be like a room temperature kind of thing, and I got in there, it was pretty much like cold tubs.
Months of preparation go into this event, and anyone is welcome to join. Even if you get cold feet and decide not to plunge, fundraising is still accepted and encouraged. Grateful participants say this event brings the community together for a good reason.
So I just thank you guys for everything, the whole town. We just want to say thank you for raising money for us.
I think it's really cool that, there's a lot of people coming together to support the Special Olympics in Vermilion, and I think it's a really big deal. So
the way the community comes out and supports each other. It's nice to have an event where everybody comes out with the same goal in mind.
The biggest thing I think is just seeing everybody come together, that and the looks on their faces once they get out of the water.
Over $20,000 were raised this year. I took the plunge for myself, and I can say firsthand that the water is colder than it looks. For Coyote News, I'm Sam Coles.
Proceeds from the plunge support regional Special Olympic events.
The head of the Board of Regents has resigned. South Dakota Board of Regents Executive Director Brian Maher says he's not returning for another term. Maher announced his resignation yesterday. Current General Counsel Nathan Lukes will replace Maher in June. Maher says that the BOR is in great hands. During his tenure, Maher oversaw the rollout of Senate Bill 55, which took a closer look at the efficiency of operations at the state's universities. USD's food supply, Sodexo, says that the restaurant Herberts & Gerberts will close at the end of the semester. The sandwich shop's exit is part of Sodexo's transition to USD's campus. The shop was part of the food option lineup during the previous food supplier, Aramark's, contract in 2018. The store provided soup and sandwiches for students. Sodexo hasn't announced which restaurant will be replacing the shop.
Vermilion High School hosted its annual show choir competition. Coyote News' Quinn Masick caught the action.
Vermilion High School hosted their 15th annual Rhythm in Red Show Choir Invitational last Saturday. The event featured 11 competing groups from neighboring areas such as Sioux Falls, Waukee, Harrisburg, Omaha, Del Rapids, and more. The event had 3 tiers for competition: the women's division, the small school division, and the large school division. The competition also featured 3 exhibition groups: the Vermilion Children's Choir, Vermilion Middle School's Music in Motion, and Vermilion High School's Rhythm in Red. I got the chance to ask the Sioux Falls Jefferson Choir Director about how they prepare for a competition like this.
We start in August and with choreography and vocal rehearsals, and we rehearse about 25 minutes every day, plus one night a week from August until March. Show choir band starts in late October. November, December, we start adding tech and all of that stuff, and so it's a lot.
After all of the groups had finished performing, everyone gathered in the gym for the preliminary awards. There were also 2 Outstanding Soloist Awards, and those went to Lainey Vanderwater from Sioux Falls Jefferson Legacy and Avi Ganti from Waukee Northwest Aurora. They also announced the 5 finalists for the evening show. After the 5 finalists performed, the judges came to this decision. 5th place went to Harrisburg Eclipse, 4th place went to Scott Catholic Vivace, 3rd place went to Waukee Northwest Aurora, 2nd place went to Sioux Falls Jefferson Legacy, and 1st place, taking Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band, Waukee Northwest EOS. From Coyote News, I am Quinn Masick.
Show choir competitions will continue across the Midwest. Coming up, how students can stay on campus during spring break.
In a world where embracing your identity is a privilege not usually given to the members of the LGBTQIA+ community,
the University of South Dakota Spectrum provides community and education for young queer scholars.
Sexuality and identity are defined on spectrums.
And having a community of open-minded, inclusive peers provides safety. Spectrum is one reason all Coyotes can call the University of South Dakota their home.
This is Coyote News.
Spring break is just around the corner and many students will be leaving Vermilion for the week, but those staying in town will notice differences on campus. All residence halls will be closed, but students can request to stay in their rooms for a $20 fee per day, although there aren't additional charges for residents of Coyote Village and McFadden. Interim Housing Director Cody Burgraff says all C-stores in North Complex and Coyote Village will remain open, but dining options in the Muck are closed. Desk services will remain available, however their hours will be limited. Burgraff encourages all students, leaving or not, to lock their doors in order to reduce theft and keep personal belongings safe over break.
Yesterday marked the end of February's Black History Month. There were a variety of events across campus that celebrated the month, from athletic events to trivia nights. Carly Phillips is live in the Muck to hear how the Office of Multicultural Affairs honored the month. Carly?
Thanks, Marissa. Unite for USD is a 24-hour celebration that honors USD and supports campus initiatives. Joining me here today is Marcus Destin, Director of the Office of Multicultural Affairs. Marcus, now for people who might not be as familiar with this organization, what exactly is it that you guys do?
For Unite for USD or the Office of Multicultural?
For the Office of Multicultural Affairs.
So the Office of Multicultural Affairs, we're here to support, educate, and educate, and celebrate with all of the multicultural organizations that are on campus. And right now we right now we oversee about 16 organizations that we collaborate with. We put on cultural events on campus, some that a lot of people are familiar with, and then they educate through passive programming as well. But everybody's welcome to enjoy, and we just want to expand multicultural knowledge.
And what are you guys doing for the Unite for USD celebration this week?
So we are just being us. We are up in Muck 219. We are having a good time. Today we played music. We had a little money thing that we shot out some money as soon as we hit our $5,000 mark. And so we're just having a good time being together, and we're doing it together, and that is how we get natural, genuine donors that just want to give back to the space that they operate in on an everyday basis.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you were also you were a student leader for the CDC.
Yes.
What made you want to return to USD?
Oh man, that's a great question. I had the support of different offices, and I had the support of different people and the community members, and to be honest, that is what brought me back, because I want to be able to give the same experience to these students that I now get to work with on a daily basis. I want to be able to be a resource. I want to be able to be a support system for them and advocate on their behalf when they need it, and just help them feel welcomed and belong during their time here, so when they leave, they're a proud Coyote.
And how can students get involved with events within the Office of Multicultural Affairs?
You can always just come holler at me, all right? You can come to Muck 219D, that's where my office is. I'll get you signed up for any organizations you're interested in. Don't feel like you have to look like or identify as any of these organizations in order to be a part of them. Everybody's welcome to join. We'll sign you up to our listserv, keep you involved in our newsletters, and that's how you get involved. Just attend events, that's what we want. We want you here.
Marcus, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Live in the Muck for Coyote News, I'm Carly Phillips.
Thanks, Carly. Unite for USD continues through noon tomorrow.
Tonight and tomorrow night, you'll be able to see two of the brightest planets in our solar system. At about 6 Central Time, if you look into the western sky, you should be able to see Venus and Jupiter. Venus is the brightest planet, and Jupiter is slightly fainter above it. They're climbing higher and higher after sunset each night. They should be at their most visible tonight, but they'll remain close all week.
A new Vermilion business is providing a space for all ages. In our new series, Behind the Storefront, students will get a glimpse into Vermilion's growing business community. I was able to check in with the AV Lounge. In the heart of downtown Vermilion, there are many bars and restaurants, but most require students to be 21 and older to enter. That leaves some young people, according to Joe Raish, with not much to do. The AV Lounge is looking to provide a performance space for all artists and genres.
Because my big thing was, there's a lot of bars in Vermilion, but if you're under 21, there's not a lot for you to do. There'll be all kinds of shows, but yeah, I do have the malt beverage, wine, and cider license, so I do serve. I just don't have that big of a capacity, and that's kind of by design. It's not a bar, right? Like I'm kind of resisting that type of venue in favor of the kind of, let's make it as many all ages shows where everybody feels kind of welcome to be at a show.
Inside an old movie theater next to the Bean Coffee Shop, Raish says the acoustics made it the perfect space. Through experimentation, he hopes to discover Vermilion's music scene.
But I think people have become very comfortable with the idea that music should be free and it should be in the background, right? Like, I'm eating dinner, and that's nice that that band is there. Play some songs that I've heard, and I shouldn't have to pay for it, right? Like, and that kind of nurtures this scene of music should be in the background, I should be able to ignore it, and it should play nothing but covers, right? Here, what I want to do is, if you're a musician, if you're just starting out, or maybe even playing for 20 years, but you play a lot of original music, this is the space I want you to be at. It's tough to get up on stage and put yourself out there when it's your original work. I want there to be a space where people feel like, one, I can go see that if I want to, and two, I'm in a band, now we have a space that we can go play for other people. Because that's tough. There's not a lot of original music venues, again, that are also all ages. So that's kind of how I'm trying to separate it from when you normally go listen to music. I don't know what people want yet, and I think that's part of what is the music scene in Vermilion. I don't know if anybody knows right now, so that's what we're going to try to figure out.
The lounge will be hosting new artists every weekend. For Behind the Storefront, I'm Marissa Brunkhorst.
Next on Coyote Sports, the track and field teams stand atop the podium at the Summit League Championships.
And the basketball teams finish off their regular seasons.
Dedication, resilience, and devotion. These 3 words define the USD dance team. As ambassadors of the university, the collegiate dancers engage the crowd on game days, connect with the community through events, and prepare for the UDA College National Championship to represent the university. Dance team is more than just a sport, it's a passion.
Goes on 3. 1, 2, 3, go!
Hi, I'm Quinn Guinat, president of the Anime Club. And sure, we watch a lot of anime and talk a lot about manga, but the club, it's so much more than that. It is really a place for people with similar interests to come together. This is a very relaxing environment. There are tons of snacks, places to study, and a bunch of different types of anime we see every week. We meet every Tuesday in Become Room 340. So please, come be a part of this community.
This is Coyote News.
The basketball team's matchups for the Summit League tournament are set.
And we'll speak with the NCAA's top pole vaulter. This is Coyote Sports. I'm Callie Connors.
And I'm Cindy Colin. USD's track and field team made history this past weekend. For the first time in school history, the men's and women's indoor track and field teams swept the Summit League championships. This outing marks USD's second straight women's title and the men's first since 2014. We go back to Coyote News' Carly Phillips in the muck with an athlete who set an NCAA best at the championships. Carly.
Thanks, Sydney. I'm here with Marlene Mula, the new NCAA leader for the women's pole vault. Marlene, first of all, congratulations on a very exciting and successful weekend. Now, what was your preparation going into the Summit League Indoor Championships?
I just wanted to be relaxed because it was last competition before nationals, and I was just thinking it's a home meet, home crowd. I'm just gonna enjoy to the max, and I did.
And now you cleared the height that set you as the NCAA leader on your third attempt. What was going through your head as you were staring down the runway? What did you do different?
I was just thinking I have to hit my hands and everything is going to work out. I'm going to have enough height. I knew that I'm capable of jumping that. And I did everything right. I got the crowd support. They started clapping and I was just in a roll.
And the women's squad went 1 through 7, sweeping the pole vault. How does that team aspect kind of come into play with this sport?
Oh, my team is such a... I don't know, I don't have words for them. They're just hyping me up. 3 girls also PR'd, and it just gave me all this motivation and good feeling to do good myself too. So my team is just amazing.
And now you are from Estonia. How does your training look different back home, or is it different than it is here?
It is definitely different. Back home we didn't have that much weightlifting or running because I was struggling with my foot injury and I couldn't really run. So now everything is so much better and we're doing so much more running and weightlifting and I really like it.
Marlene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Live for Coyote News, I'm Carly Phillips.
Thanks, Carly. Mula will compete at the NCAA Indoor Championships over spring break. Pole vaulters Jenna Hirata, Cassidy Moonhan, and high jumper Danny England will join Mula as the 4 Coyotes selected to the championships.
Also competing in Summit League Championships over the weekend were the swimming and diving teams. The women finished second at the meet and the men placed third. USD saw 7 school records broken over the course of the championships. The teams won't see any action until next week when they travel to Indiana for the National Invitational Championships. Out of the pool and onto the court, the men's basketball team will play NDSU in the Summit League tournament on Sunday. Over the past week, they split a pair of games. Last weekend, the Coyotes took on Kansas City. Tassos Kamateros led USD in scoring with 24 points. Cruz Perro-Hunt tallied 21 points and 3 assists in the contest. The Coyotes take this one 82-48. Earlier in the week, they played the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. Kamateros had 20 points and 9 rebounds in the game. AJ Plitzawhite totaled 16 points and 4 assists, but the Coyotes would fall short. USD drops this one 82-70. The Coyotes' victory over Kansas City secured them the 6th seed in the Summit League tournament, helping them to avoid a play-in game. Sunday night's game against NDSU will begin at 8:30 in Sioux Falls.
The women's basketball team will also compete on Sunday in the Summit League tournament against Oral Roberts. This past Saturday, the Coyotes claimed a 74-73 victory against Kansas City. USD was able to come back from a 12-point deficit in the game, and with just 5 seconds left, USD's Nicole Avila Ambrosi scored the game-winning basket. Earlier in the week, the team scored a 77-63 victory against Oral Roberts. Grace Larkins notched another double-double while also leading the team in scoring, rebounds, and assists. Sunday's rematch with Oral Roberts will begin at 12:30 in Sioux Falls. The men's golf team is in Oregon next week. Yesterday, they placed 19th as the team in the Loyola Intercollegiate. Senior Ben Hicks shot a season-low 3 under par on the last day of the tournament. Hicks totaled 8 birdies over the 3 days, finishing 36th overall. Bryce Hammer finished 76th and Max Schmidtke placed 84th.
The softball squad will do more traveling this weekend as they head to Arkansas. Last week, USD saw 2 wins and 3 losses during the Lopes Up Classic. The Coyotes faced Utah State in their first game. During the game, Mia Kramer hit her first home run of her college career. USD took this one 4-2. In Game 2 against the Montana Grizzlies, USD saw a 2-1 victory. Sophomore Clara Edwards had an impressive outing, having struck out 5 players throughout the game. The remaining 3 games saw losses in the rematch against Utah State and 2 defeats to Grand Canyon University. The Coyotes now sit at 5-8 on the season.
Amidst a sea of teams, one cheerleader stood alone. Morrill, Nebraska high schooler Katrina Kohel competed solo in the state cheer and dance competition. Normally a team event, Kohel's 3 other teammates couldn't make the meet, but that didn't stop her from trying. Kohel told the Omaha World Herald she wanted to compete at the state meet to cheer, despite not having any teammates alongside her. Kohel had to switch to a new solo routine just weeks before her meet, and her work was rewarded with an 8th place finish out of 12 teams. The placement was her school's highest in 3 years.
That's it for Coyote Sports.
When we come back, we ask students what their dream vacation spot is. Stay with us.
This is Coyote News.
Not every student takes a trip on spring break, which is coming up, so we wanted to ask students what their dream vacation spots are.
Here's what they had to say.
To probably go to Hawaii and have a daiquiri on the beach.
I'd say probably Tahiti, Hawaii.
Gotta be Guatemala or somewhere tropical.
I had to say right this moment, Italy. Not really anywhere in particular, just Italy.
Probably going to New York and watching a bunch of Broadway plays.
A friend of mine and I have been talking for years now about going to France, check out the wineries and all of the fun stuff that they have around there. So yeah, France, I would say.
A trip around Europe to see Paris, Germany, and Rome.
The Maldives.
Somewhere warm with a beach, tropical, and I'm there for a month.
Probably somewhere tropical with a lot of booze, a lot of food, and probably some females. And it sounds pretty good to me,
My dream vacation, probably New Zealand. There's no deadly snakes or spiders, so that's what I'd have to go with.
I think I'm gonna say Mexico. That's where my parents are right now, so they kind of ditched me.
They left you out.
With Herberts and Gerberts leaving campus, we were wondering what people were hoping to have in its place. What are you thinking, Landon?
I actually replied to our Twitter here, and I said Culver's myself.
I was a big Taco Bell proponent. I think Vermilion needs a Taco Bell. And it looks like
You got Panera.
Culver's, Raising Cane's.
Yeah, I think Panda Express might actually be the one to go with, though. Follow our Twitter page at USD Coyote News to take part in our weekly polls. A bear might take your Panda Express, and one bear in St. Louis doesn't seem to want to stay caged. On Thursday, an Indian bear named Ben escaped his enclosure in the St. Louis Zoo for the second time in 1 month. He was out for less than an hour and was found only 100 feet away from his enclosure. The 4-year-old bear was tranquilized and returned to his home. In response to his first escape in early February, the zoo added stainless steel clips with 450 pounds of strength. However, Ben was easily able to snap those. Zoo officials say they are working on alternative ways to secure the enclosure. And that's all for Coyote News.
Pick up the Valance issue for a report on how USD addresses sexual violence.
Listen to 91.1 for news updates throughout the week and for coverage of your USD sports.
Don't forget to follow our social media pages for daily updates and the weekly poll. Have a great night.